number 8. Leaving Van Riper State Park, heading west. A little foggy out this morning. Temperature 56 degrees. I got some layers on. I'm not plugged in, although I just did turn on my heated grips. So here we go. Day number 8. Beginning of week 2. The camera's probably all fogged up, but it is foggy out. Foggy and damp. Keeping my speed down a little bit here because visibility is pretty limited. Entering Ottawa National Forest. Very misty out, but at least the visibility is improved down at the road. There is that glorious sunshine. Day number 8. A long, flat, straight road. It does go through some pretty woodland. And entering the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin welcomes you. Industry, recreation, and agriculture. Through Ashland. Lake Superior is there to the right. And it's fogged up again, I think because of the cold temperature of Lake Superior. Get closer to the Great Plains. Just going to be on the eastern side of it. Chekamegwin Nicolet National Forest. I'm about 13 miles from Duluth and getting close to Lake Superior again. Fog is closed in. I am in Superior, Wisconsin, about ready to enter Minnesota, going into Duluth. And if it's open, there's a historic lake freighter here that you can self-tour. So I may do that for an hour or so before I continue on my way. At the top of this bridge, I think I am crossing into Minnesota. Should be the high water mark as far as states go.
For the cargo. She's a coal-fired ship. This is one of the guest cabins. Electric fireplace. This is the upper deck guest quarters. Something more luxurious. The guest lounge.
Well, it was a fun and quick tour.
She's in pretty good shape for as old as she is.
Quick trip into Duluth. 2 hours to go. It's almost 2 o'clock Central Time. That mist or fog was definitely caused by the lake. We're a couple miles away from it now, and it's still overcast, but at least the fog is gone. The weather changed yet again. It's kind of sunny out again. And it's warmed up. 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Just a weird day of weather. Skies continue to clear. It's 2:50 in the afternoon and the temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's gone up almost 20 degrees since I was at the ship. So that lake really was changing the weather down there. Town of Chisholm, Minnesota. Quite a grand entrance. Fueled up. Got something that approximates dinner. Small grocery stores. It's painful to shop because, you know, if I want any bread, I've got to buy a whole loaf of bread. I can't buy small single rolls or something like that. You can get in some of the bigger markets. I think I'm a day ahead of schedule according to my proposed itinerary. It's been a pretty long day of riding. I left camp in Michigan at 8:20. I'll probably get here at 4:20, so it's 8 hours. I was on the ship for probably an hour and 15 minutes. So I've been pretty much without stop other than gasoline and groceries for the better part of 7 hours. McCarthy Beach State Park. Now the campground is named something different. So the one campground down here where the ranger station is closed. But there's a Beatrice Lake is 7 miles north. I think it's tied into the same campground system, same ranger station. The ranger was actually leaving for the day because their office was closed for a bit. She was catching up on some paperwork, so she was kind enough to come out and give me the telephone number where I could call and make a reservation and give me directions on how to get up here. And I guess there's a few campers there. It's a somewhat small campground, but I had pretty much my selection of sites. So right up to Beatrice Lake is quite nice. Nicely maintained dirt road. Beatrice Lake Campground, 1 mile. At least there's signs back here. She was pretty good about giving me directions. Beatrice Lake Forest Road, so 1 mile. These Anarchy Adventure tires are great for this kind of surface. Beatrice Lake Campground, take a right. McCarthy Beach State Park, yeah, so it is part of the state park. So I gotta work my way around here. So I'm all the way over on 22. Engine is like a tank in terms of its torque. I love how they put this bike together. Actually bigger than I thought it would be. Tent camping only. Alright, B22.
This is Beatrice Lake, which sits right below my camp. About 7 in the evening, Central Time. This is my campsite. Minnesota apparently only accepts reservations. So at the camp headquarters, I called to make a reservation for this sight unseen. Unfortunately, it's angled fairly steeply. I set my tent up at about the flattest spot that I could find, but I think it's still angled, so I don't know how much it's going to be disturbing my sleep tonight. But in the background, you can see Beatrice Lake. There are a few campers on the other side of this loop, but otherwise it's fairly deserted. Only pit toilets, but there is fresh water.
Good morning, it's day number 9. It's a Monday. I am headed up to Voyageurs National Park, which is about an hour and a half ride from here. I'm going to spend the day up there. So here we go, day number 9, Monday, the 15th of September. It was super quiet last night at that campsite. It's a shame it wasn't level, so I was constantly struggling trying to keep from rolling out of bed. But the site was just superb in the sense of no sound at all. You hear the occasional leaf falling on the tent, but that was it. It was great. That's my idea of camping. Beatrice Lake was pretty. It's supposed to be overcast most of today, sunny tomorrow. There's some rain forecast, at least for this area, later in the week, but knock on wood, I hope to avoid it. Here's some of Beatrice Lake. Looks like there's some private ownership along it. Just really pretty area up here. Looking forward to seeing what Voyageurs is like. National parks are always special. Got about 3+ miles on this gravel before I get back to pavement. This is called Snake Trail. Pretty ride first thing in the morning. Wow. Leaves changing. Even prettier in the sunshine, but it's still a really nice morning. What is it? 67 degrees. County Road 5, headed north. 1 hour and 20 minutes, 82 miles. This is one of the least visited national parks in the United States. This town of Orr has a visitor center with information on the national park. So I'm actually going to change my plan here today. I was going to go to Ash River, but now I'm going to go to Kabetogama, which looks like it has more to offer. And interestingly, I found a campground right on the other side of the National Park Visitor Center that's in a state forest. And they also offer tours of various kinds out of that particular visitor center. So I'm getting kind of excited to see this national park, and hopefully I can actually get out on the water. They have obviously many lakes up here, which is the whole purpose of the national park. And looking at the pictures in the visitor center, there's some really nice views. So with the day shaping up with a little bit of sunshine, starting to get eager to get there. Lovely ride, beautiful day, 72 degrees. 9th day in a row. Yesterday's weather was a little iffy, but no rain or anything, so it's hard to complain. All the other days have just been spectacular. That's what can be so addicting of motorcycle riding when the weather is good. When it's bad, it's miserable. I'm thinking of down to the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska. That was tough going with the rain and the wind. This is at the other end of the spectrum. This is where you don't want it to ever end. Kabetogama Lake, Voyageurs National Park. A little breezy out. Let's see what they have to offer. Kabetogama Lake Visitor Center. All right.
He started building rock sculptures. And by 1965, he had over 200 sculptures that he had built by himself.
This is the Ellsworth Rock Gardens. Look at the rock sculptures. Apparently done by a fellow and his wife that lived here many, many years ago. Over 21 summers, this guy designed 62 garden terraces with 13,000 flowers, 30 species of flowers, including tiger, regale, calla, and daylilies. Jack Ellsworth, 1899 to 1974. He was a building contractor. Apparently liked to do rock gardens for art. Looks like a dog. Table and chair. He sure made a lot of them. Big field of them.
A special place. Escape your fate. Pick up the pace. We'll find better days.
It's called Balanced Rock. So I'm here at the Kabetogama Lake Visitor Center. I learned how to finally pronounce the name of it. I'm going to head over here to the Wooden Frog Campground for this evening. Shortly, it's just early afternoon right now, but I'm also going to try to do this Echo Bay Trail, or at least part of it. while I'm here. I did not go to the Ash River Visitor Center, although there are trails there as well that one can hike. But the boat ride went from here out to Ellsworth Rock Gardens and then back again. So it was about a 2-hour round trip. Very fun. A couple guys were visiting as well. So there's 3 of us as well as the boat driver.
Well, that morning worked out pretty well. $75 for 2 hours riding out on the boat. Some good visitors along with me, and turned into a really nice morning. There were 2 guys in the visitor center that were talking about taking a tour, and then I went outside and looked at the whole list of vendors, trying to figure out which one I was going to take. And they decided they were going to use this fellow. And I happened independently, I was outside, independently decided that I was going to as well. So I called on the phone, and when I was calling on the phone, he was pulling into the dock with the boat, which was weird. So I could see him literally, I don't know, 100 feet away. And then the park ranger, who I was talking to about different options for doing things today, came out to me and said, oh, well, this guy's is going out for a 2-hour tour with the 2 gentlemen, if you're interested. So I was on the phone with him already. So it was a confluence of events that led me to hop on board the boat literally 3 minutes later, and we went out for 2 hours, and now I'm back. I have no idea where I'm going. South, which sounds right, and then I want to go west out to the park. I'm going to try to set up my camp and then go for a hike before I go get some dinner. That's the plan for this afternoon. I'm going to go to the Wooden Frog State Forest Campground and then try to take that Echo Bay Trail. The tour guide on the boat said the Wooden Frog State Forest Campground is one of his favorite places to go camping, and he didn't think this time of year I'd have any trouble getting a spot. I think it's fairly large, but it's first come first serve, I believe, for the entire facility. The campground will be the high water mark on this trip in terms of as far west as I will go. I'm at 2,003.5 miles. So this will end up being a 4,000 mile journey when it's all said and done. Wooden Frog State Forest Campground. State Forest Campground. No off-highway vehicles beyond this point. Wooden Frog State Forest Campground. Maybe a quarter full. Nobody in my immediate vicinity. So pick of the sights for the most part. Headed over for a little hike. It's supposed to be about an hour circle loop. $17 a night, not too bad. So here we go, Echo Bay Trail. Cross country skiing in the winter, hiking in the summer. And there's a couple visitors here. I'm on the Echo Bay Trail in Voyageurs National Park. It's a little over 2.4 miles, and it's a loop trail. So, don't know anything really about it other than that. The National Park Service Ranger did say that there was a beaver dam up here somewhere where it turns the trail very muddy, but there's apparently a workaround. This must be where the beaver is doing his work. I don't know whether that was caught or not. I think that was a grouse. According to the guide this morning, the trees here are losing their leaves fairly early because of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. The temperature is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit when I got off the bike, and it's slightly humid. It's like a long green corridor. The overlook, can't see much. Not high enough. Too many trees. Wind is a whipping. Must confess, as much as I love riding, it's
Nice to have a low mileage day to get off the bike and do something. But it's gonna be back on the bike tomorrow, at least a couple hundred miles. Today though, it's just a day of relaxation. So my app says, yeah, 2.43 miles, 1 hour, 15 minutes duration, pace of 30 minutes, 30 seconds per mile. Pretty slow for me. Restaurant's name is Rocky Ledge, and it is a mere 2.8 miles away. Kind of early for dinner, but I don't feel like going all the way back to camp. It's probably a whopping 5 miles away, and then leaving shortly thereafter to come back and get dinner. So I'm just going to do an early dinner. It would be fun to have a small power boat and go out and camp at some of the remote campsites that they have. Just a huge number of them on the lakes up here at the national park. Had a walleye sandwich and a big batch of fries. That's all I'm going to eat for the rest of the day, other than maybe some ice cream if they have some at this Gateway store coming up here on my left. Thought that Wooden Frog was an unusual name for the state park, and it turns out that it's a translation from an Indian term meaning tree frog. So I guess they used a literal translation of the Indian term. As is true of so many of the state parks around the country, this one was started by the Civilian Conservation Corps back during the Great Depression, and I believe they built that building up there. Very pleasant little spot. Hang out here for a few minutes. Speaking of frogs, hello, Mr. Frog.